figure out where we are, but we know what we want.
Like, that's great. She doesn't even have to make any hard decisions. Her kids all stay home. Well, she's so compliant.
Janelle's name is on the lease, so I can't evict them.
She sees the value. And I'm like, dude.
Tonight, secrets crack open like thunder. A missing $315,000. A confrontation no one saw coming. Betrayal whispered behind closed doors. And the moment when Robyn and Kody's alliance shatters in front of Janelle and Meri. What really happened? And why was everyone afraid to say it until now? Welcome back to the channel, Sister Wives Fanatics. If you haven't subscribed yet, smash that button right now because what's about to come out today is straight up explosive. We're talking financial manipulation, hidden agendas, and this fight between Kody and Robyn that reveals the truth about what's really been going on with that family money. And listen, I need you to stick with me all the way to the end because I'm going to show you a timeline, the receipts, and exactly how this $315,000 connects to Coyote Pass, to Janelle's RV situation, to Meri's departure, and to the complete financial collapse of this plural family. The house is too quiet. A storm rattles the windows. Kody paces, his footsteps sharp, frustrated, as he runs both hands through his hair. Kody, this isn't adding up. It just isn't adding up. A thick, overstuffed, and ominous folder sits on the table. Enter Robyn, arms crossed, trying to steady her breathing. Robyn, you've been pacing for an hour, Kody. Just say what's bothering you. Kody, what's bothering me? Robyn, this situation with, you told me you handled it. Robyn, I did handle it. Everything is fine. Kody, then why am I finding things that say exactly the opposite? Outside, the thunder cracks in a perfect sync with the tension. Robyn, don't start. Not like this. You're twisting everything. Kody, am I? Or am I finally seeing things clearly? The room breathes with silence, thick and dangerous, trembling. The fight that changed everything. Let's start with what we actually saw on screen, because this fight between Kody and Robyn wasn't your typical reality TV drama. This was real. This was raw. And this was revealing in ways that neither of them probably intended. Kody sat Robyn down and wanted to discuss financial decisions he said have been made over the past several years, concerning around $315,000. Now, that's not chump change, folks. That's a substantial amount of money that, per what we're gathering from the episode, social media, and public records, was to be family money. The look on Kody's face when he was talking about this? I have watched this man for over a decade on television, and I have never seen him look at Robyn with that level of anger and betrayal. His hands were shaking. His voice was cracking. And the things he was saying about feeling deceived and manipulated, those are strong words from a man who has defended Robyn against every criticism for years. Robyn's response was equally telling. Instead of the calm, collected, I'm the peaceful wife persona she usually presents, we saw defensiveness, we saw deflection, and we saw what looked like panic. She kept trying to redirect the conversation, kept trying to make it about Kody's relationship with the other wives, kept trying to paint herself as the victim who's been holding everything together. But here's what she couldn't explain away. The numbers, the dates, the decisions made without consulting Janelle and Meri. And that's where this story gets absolutely insane. Following the money trail. So, again, where did this $315,000 come from? Let me break down what we know from public records, from previous episodes, and from dot connections that the producers probably hoped we wouldn't connect. First, let's travel back in time to 2018. The Brown family bought the Coyote Pass property in Flagstaff, Arizona, for roughly $820,000. It was supposed to be their dream. 4 homes, 1 big family property, everybody together. They split the property into 4 parcels, 1 for each wife. Now, to make this purchase happen, they needed to sell their Las Vegas homes. And here's where it gets interesting. Those Las Vegas properties sold for substantial profits. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity that had built up over the years they'd lived there. Janelle's home sold for roughly $615,000. Meri's home sold for around $574,000. Christine's home sold for about $600,000. And Robyn's? Robyn's home sold for approximately $619,000. After paying off their mortgages and closing costs, each wife should have walked away with a significant chunk of equity. But here's the question that has haunted fans for years. Where did all that money go? Christine used her money to buy her Utah home outright. We know this because she's talked about it. She owns that house free and clear, no mortgage. Good for her for getting out with her finances intact. But what about Janelle? What about Meri? Why is Janelle living in an RV? Why does Meri rent? And why, if there was all this equity, does Kody keep claiming the family is broke? This is where that $315,000 becomes critical. The Robyn connection. An in-town home, such as the one Robyn has in Flagstaff, that huge mansion she shares with Kody required a large down payment, according to multiple sources, including things said on the show itself. Their home is worth about $1.65 million and was purchased in 2019. Now, stick with me here because the math is about to get very interesting. If Robyn used her equity from the Las Vegas house, assuming she had about $200,000 after everything was paid off, that's still not enough for a down payment on a $1.65 million home. Banks usually want 20% down on a home of that value, which would be $330,000. So where did the extra money come from? According to the explosive fight we just witnessed, and according to what Kody is now claiming, money that was supposed to be family money that was supposed to go toward building on Coyote Pass, money that was supposed to be available for all the wives was diverted into Robyn's home purchase. And get this, Janelle and Meri claim they were never properly consulted about this. They were told there were family expenses and investment opportunities, but they weren't given the full picture about what was really happening with the finances. Janelle has said in several episodes that she feels she's been financially disadvantaged within the family. She's talked about how she contributed to the family pot for years, how she was the breadwinner for so long, and how now she's living in an RV while Robyn lives in a mansion. Meri has been even more forthright, stating she feels financially abused, and that decisions about her money were made without her consent. She has mentioned she had expected to see returns on family investments that never came. Now it all is starting to make sense, isn't it? The Coyote Pass disaster. Now let's talk about Coyote Pass because this property is at the center of the entire financial controversy. They bought this piece of land for $820,000 in 2018. Up to 2024, they never built on it, not one house. The property just sits there, collecting property taxes and maintenance costs, while the family has completely fallen apart. Why haven't they built? Kody has given several excuses over the years, permitting issues, design disagreements, financial constraints. But the real reason is becoming crystal clear. They used the money that was supposed to go toward building on this property for other things. Specifically for Robyn's mansion. Smoking gun. He admitted in these latest episodes that they had taken loans against the Coyote Pass property. They took out loans using the land as collateral. And where did that loan money go? If you've been paying attention, you know the answer. It went into Robyn's house. It went into maintaining Robyn's lifestyle. It went into supporting Robyn's adult children, who still live at home. It went everywhere except toward the original plan of building a plural family compound. Janelle has been vocal about this. She said repeatedly that she invested her money, expecting that they would build homes for everyone. She gave up her equity, her financial security, trusting that the family would follow through on the plan. Instead, she's watching the property sit empty while she lives in an RV and Robyn lives like a queen. And Meri? Meri has completely checked out financially. She's making her own money with LuLaRoe. She bought her bed and breakfast in Utah, and she's essentially said, I'm done contributing to the family pot because I see where the money actually goes. It showed Kody and Robyn in a fight that revealed he is finally realizing something that the other wives have known for years. The money isn't being divided up fairly, and Robyn has been the primary recipient of the family's resources. The timeline of deception. Allow me to outline the timeline. When it's all put together, the pattern becomes undeniable. 2018. Family relocates to Flagstaff. Homes in Las Vegas are sold. Coyote Pass is purchased. Everybody's supposed to be contributing equally and benefiting equally. 2019. Robyn and Kody buy their Flagstaff mansion for $1.65 million, less than a year after telling everyone they didn't have money to build on Coyote Pass yet. The down payment required would have been substantial. 2020. Christine starts openly complaining about financial inequity in the family. She says she feels like Robyn gets preferential treatment and that the resources are not being distributed equitably. 2021. Janelle starts living in an RV. Think about that. A woman who contributed financially to this family for decades is living in an RV while Robyn has a mansion. Janelle begins questioning family financial decisions more and more openly. 2022. Meri pretty much financially removes herself from the family. She no longer puts her money in the family pot and decides to handle her finances individually. She purchases her bed and breakfast in Utah with her own money. 2023. Christine makes a complete break from the family, taking her financial independence with her. She purchases a house in Utah outright, proving she had money at the time she left money she protected from the family finances. 2024. The fight we just watched occurs. Kody and Robyn get into an altercation over the $315,000. He feels she has made financial decisions for the family without consulting them properly. He says to the camera that he now feels robbed and knows why Janelle and Meri have been so mad. Do you see the pattern? Every single wife except Robyn has either left or financially separated themselves from the family structure. And every single one of them has cited financial issues as a major factor in their decision. Robyn's defense and why IT doesn't add up. Now, to be fair, let's take a look at what Robyn has said in her defense, because she does not take these accusations lying down. Robyn claims that every financial decision she made was with Kody and for the benefit of the whole family. She says her home needed to be large enough to accommodate family gatherings, and it was supposed to be the family hub where everyone could come together. She has also said that she quickly made decisions about her housing situation because she has minor children at home and needed stability for them. She's framed herself as the responsible mother who was just trying to provide a stable home for her kids, while the other wives were being difficult about living arrangements. But here's why this defense falls apart when you really examine it. If the house was to be a family hub, then why was it solely in Robyn's name? Why weren't the other wives on the deed? If this was a family investment, why did Robyn have sole ownership? Second, the timeline doesn't match up with her story. She bought this mansion before it was clear that the other wives wouldn't be building on Coyote Pass. She made the purchase when the family plan was still supposedly active. So how was this helping the family goal? Third, her adult children. Robyn's older children are in their 20s. They're adults, yet they still live at home, and the family resources continue to support them. Meanwhile, Janelle's adult children have been independent for years, Christine's kids are independent, and Meri's daughter has been independent. Why is family money going to support adults who should be supporting themselves? Fourth, and most important, if these decisions were genuinely made in a consultative manner with all, then why are Janelle and Meri angry? Why do they feel blindsided? Why do they say that full information wasn't granted about where the money was going? Robyn's story only works if you ignore what every other person in the family is saying. And when 4 out of 5 adults are telling the same story about being financially misled, maybe it's time to believe them. Kody's complicity. Now, before we go and make Robyn the villain of this story, let's discuss Kody's involvement because he's far from innocent when it comes to this financial mess. Kody is the head of this family. He is the one who is supposed to be divvying up the resources fairly amongst his wives. He's the one who sold the plural family lifestyle as being about equality and unity and everyone being treated the same. But what has Kody actually done? He's allowed massive financial inequity to develop in his family. He's allowed one wife to live in a mansion while another lives in an RV. He's allowed family resources to be concentrated in one household while the others struggle. And the most damning thing? He's known about this for years and did nothing. Remember this fight we just witnessed? This isn't news to Kody. He's known all along where the money was going. He's known that Robyn's house required a massive investment. He's known that Janelle and Meri were unhappy with the financial arrangements. So why is he getting angry only now? Why is he confronting Robyn over this only now? The answer is obvious, And that's because the family has fallen apart and he can't hide the financial inequity anymore. Christine left and took her resources with her. Janelle has essentially left and is financially independent. Meri is done contributing. The whole system has collapsed. And now Kody is trying to figure out how it all went so wrong. But here's the thing. Kody was there for every decision. He signed the papers on Robyn's house. He approved the loans against Coyote Pass. He decided how family resources were distributed. He chose to spend more time, energy, and money on Robyn and her kids than on his other families. So, in this fight with Robyn, when he acts shocked and betrayed, I call BS. Kody is complicit in every bit of this financial mismanagement, and his sudden anger is less about truly caring about fairness, but rather about rewriting history now that the truth is out. Legal implications. Now, let's talk about something that nobody else is discussing. The potential legal implications of what we're seeing here. In most states, when several individuals put in money into a joint venture with the understanding that they are sharing the profits equally, and then one person diverts those funds to their own benefit without full disclosure to the others, that can be considered fraud or breach of fiduciary duty. Now, the Brown family situation is complicated because they're not a legal entity. They're not a corporation or partnership with formal paperwork. They're a plural family that's been operating on trust and verbal agreements. But Janelle and Meri did contribute their money with specific expectations about how it would be used. They were told it was going toward the Coyote Pass development. They were told it was for family investments. If that money were actually diverted to benefit primarily Robyn without their full knowledge and consent, they may have legal recourse. We have already seen that the separation between Christine and Kody was a legal settlement. She and Kody signed papers to divide their assets and debts. Christine got out clean and, presumably, she got a fair share of what she had contributed over the years. But what about Janelle? What about Meri? Are they going to pursue legal action to recover what they feel they're owed? She has mentioned that lawyers are involved in her split with Kody and that there are financial issues to be settled. Based on what we now understand about the $315,000 and Robyn's house, it does sound like Janelle is trying to obtain some kind of financial settlement in their separation. Meri hasn't said as much about the legal aspect, but she also has made it known that she is done being taken advantage of. She's protecting her own assets now, and she's not contributing anything more to the family pot. The truth is, this could get very messy legally. We're possibly looking at lawsuits, financial audits, and a complete unraveling of decades of intermingled family finances. And the more Kody and Robyn fight publicly, the more evidence the other wives have to build their cases. The impact on the children. Something that really breaks my heart is how all this financial dysfunction has affected the Brown children. Think about what these children have seen during their lifetime. First, they watched as their father played obvious favorites with Robyn's kids. Then they saw all the resources being placed into Robyn's home, while their own mothers struggled. They have watched the family unity that they were all promised utterly disintegrate. Logan, Aspen, Michael T., Maddie, Hunter, Garrison, Gabriel, and all the other Brown children were raised to believe in this plural family ideal. The moms are equal, the kids are equal, and the family takes care of everyone fairly. But what's the reality they've experienced? Robyn's kids get to live in a mansion. Robyn's kids get more of their father's time. Robyn's kids get financial support well into adulthood. Meanwhile, Christine's, Janelle's, and Meri's kids have had to be independent, have had to watch their mother struggle, and have had to come to terms with the fact that their father has a favorite family and it's not theirs. Several of the Brown children have spoken publicly about the unfairness they have endured. Most especially, Gabriel has expressed his hurt feelings at being abandoned by his father. Several of the kids have cut off contact with Kody altogether. And now, with this financial scandal coming to light, those kids are learning it wasn't just emotional favoritism. It was financial favoritism, too. Their mother's money that should have benefited all the families, was diverted to benefit Robyn's household. How do you think that makes them feel? How do you think that affects their relationships with Robyn and her children? How do you think that shapes their understanding of trust, family, and financial responsibility? The damage Kody and Robyn have caused is not just to the adult relationships in this family. They've hurt the sibling relationships. They've hurt their children's ability to trust. They've hurt the next generation's view of what family means. Lessons for the viewers. Now, what can we learn from this absolute disaster of a family situation? First, always protect yourself financially. No matter how much you love someone, no matter how much you trust them, no matter what kind of family or religious structure you're in, you need to maintain some level of financial independence and awareness. Have your name on property. Understand where your money is going. Don't just hand over your resources and hope for the best. Second, trust your gut. Janelle and Meri have both said that they had uncomfortable feelings about the financial decisions for years. They knew something was wrong, but they suppressed those feelings because they didn't want to be divisive or cause problems. Listen to yourself. When something feels wrong, investigate it. Third, favoritism is poison. Whether it's in a plural marriage or a regular family, when one person is clearly favored over others, when resources are distributed unequally, when time and energy aren't shared fairly, resentment builds and relationships die. If you're in any kind of family system where you see blatant favoritism happening, address it immediately or get out. Fourthly, financial transparency is non-negotiable. In any relationship where finances are shared, everyone needs full access to information. Everyone needs to understand where money is coming from and where it is going. Everyone needs to be a part of major financial decisions. If someone is secretive about money or makes big decisions without consulting the people who are affected, it is a huge red flag. Fifth and finally, it is never too late to stand up for oneself. Christine left at 50 years old. Janelle is becoming independent in her 50s, and Meri is piecing her life together in her 50s. It is never too late to say, I deserve better than this, and make changes. The producer manipulation theory. Now, I want to address a thing that some of the fans have been speculating about. How much did the producers know, and did they manipulate this situation? Reality TV producers are known for stirring the pot, for asking leading questions, for setting up situations that create drama. And there's definitely been some of that in Sister Wives over the years. But here's the thing. You can't fake property records. You can't fake mortgage documents. You can't fake the fact that Robyn lives in a mansion and Janelle lives in an RV. The producers didn't create this financial inequity, they just filmed it. What the producers are doing is finally asking the hard questions that fans have been screaming about for years. Pushing Kody to explain the financial decisions, asking Robyn to justify the disparity in living situations, and giving Janelle and Meri a platform for their frustrations. Some people believe that the producers should have exposed this a long time ago. The truth is, Kody and Robyn were in control for a long period of time. They controlled how much information was put out, what questions were answered, and what was showcased on camera. It's only now, with the family completely fallen apart, that people are willing to speak more freely. Christine leaving open the floodgates. She was the first one to publicly say, this family is dysfunctional and I'm out. Once she did that, it became safer for others to speak their truth. So, while I'm sure the producers are loving the drama because it makes for good TV, I really don't think they created this mess. They're just finally filming the truth that was there all along. So here's where we are. The Brown family is in complete financial and relational collapse. The $315,000 fight between Kody and Robyn has exposed years of financial mismanagement, favoritism, and possible deception. Janelle and Meri have put decades of money, their labor, and their loyalty into this family. What do they have to show for it? Janelle is living in an RV. Meri's financially separated and emotionally done. Meanwhile, Robyn lives in a $1.65 million mansion that was at least partially purchased with family money. Christine got out and is thriving. She protected her finances, her future, and started living her best life. She's the example of what happens when you put yourself first and refuse to accept inequity. Kody is finally waking up to what he's allowed to happen in his family, but it's too late. The damage is done. His relationships with most of his children are destroyed. 3 of his 4 wives are gone or going. His reputation is in tatters. His marriage to Robyn is now under strain because the financial truth is out. And Robyn? She's trying to defend the indefensible. trying to justify financial decisions clearly made for her benefit at the expense of the other wives. She's trying to maintain her victim narrative while she's living in luxury that other family members don't have access to. The truth is out now. The receipts are public. The fight has been aired on national television. There's no putting this genie back in the bottle. What happens next? Legal battles, probably. More revelations about financial mismanagement, definitely. The complete end of the sister wives family as we knew it, certainly. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe this family needed to fall apart so that people like Janelle, Meri, and Christine could finally be free to live authentically and fairly. Maybe this exposure needed to happen so that people in similar situations can now see the red flags and protect themselves. If you're watching this video, here's what I want you to take away. Trust yourself. Protect yourself financially. Don't accept less than what you deserve in the name of family unity. And if you see blatant inequity and favoritism in your relationships, address it or leave. The story of the Brown family is a cautionary tale about what happens when love, loyalty, and financial responsibility get twisted up with favoritism, manipulation, and secrecy. So that's the tea, fam. That's the real deal with the $315,000 fight and what it brought out about Robyn's finances and the collapse of the Brown family. Make sure you're subscribed, as this is a story that I'll be continuing to follow. The legal battles are coming, more revelations are coming, and I'll be here breaking it all down for you. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think Robyn knew exactly what she was doing? Do you think Kody is in on it? Or do you think he was manipulated too? Do you think Janelle and Meri will take any legal action? I want to hear your theories. And if you made it this far in the video, comment receipt so I know you're part of the Real Sister Wives investigation squad. Hit that like button. Share this video with everybody watching Sister Wives. See you in the next one because we will continue to follow this absolutely wild story. Till then, stay messy, stay informed, and remember the truth always comes out eventually.